What's going on, guys? CTG Matt back. Read the title today. We are ranking teams based on how excited am I to watch that team this upcoming season. Don't forget to like, subscribe, simple stuff. We're going to jump into it right now. Let's look at the tiers. Must-see TV, shiny new toy, a fine team, background noise, and will not watch. We're going to get right into it right now with the Toronto Raptors, who I think they're just a fine team. They could be good. They really could be. They could also be horrific and trade everything by midseason. I have no idea. They have one building block. It's Scotty Barnes. Everything after that feels like it's expendable in the long term if it really came to it. Shout out to Brandon Ingram. He might have another good year, but like RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, those guys aren't necessarily irreplaceable or untouchable type of guys. And if a team really offers up something, they can get Emmanuel Quickley. I'm sure of it. I think they could be like a fun 6 seed at best. 5 seed maybe. Overall, it's like the roster doesn't make any sense. Emmanuel Quickley can't pass. He's not a great passer. Your best facilitator is probably Scotty, which is okay. Don't get me wrong. I like a good passing forward, but when your team is built on forwards, I don't know. It's a really weird constructed team, and there's a real chance that it's a train wreck. It could get as bad as going down here, but as for right now, this is a team through the first week or two of the season I'm going to keep my eye on. The Chicago Bulls are just background noise to me. That's like a season thing now. This is like season 7 of them being background noise to me. They're the first game on usually on the East Coast. It's usually them or Charlotte. They're one of the first games on, and they're fun to watch a little bit. Giddey, Kobe, and especially Modest. High hopes for Modest this year. I have high hopes for the kid this year. He's an MIP candidate type of guy in my opinion. He's a sneaky one. I don't know what the odds would say, but he's a sneaky MIP candidate. And that's about where the buck stops. Their first-round pick from this year was not Derek Queen. It was Noah Senge, I think. I don't know. I'm not all that way excited about their team. I don't think it'll be a bad team. They're a play-in specialty. It's the same thing they do every year. It's the Bulls. They're a play-in specialty team. But if Modest takes another step, that could really transform this team. But it all starts with his playmaker giving him the ball and letting him work. That is Mr. Josh Giddey, who got his bag. Happy for him. But all around, I think the Bulls are just going to be a fun transition basketball team that doesn't play defense, just like last year again. Miami Heat are also going to be background noise. They're kind of in the same breath as the Bulls to me. They have some interesting players, don't get me wrong, but they announced Nikola Jovic is going to start. And I don't often question Eric Spoelstra. I think he's a terrific coach. He actually, about 30 seconds before this recording, got named as the head coach of Team USA. Moving forward will be Eric Spoelstra. It just got announced, but I don't usually question his coaching decisions, but don't get me wrong. I think Jovic is a good player, and he deserves the money he got, but I liked Bam a lot better when he was playing the 4 next to Kalel. I know that might be weird, but I like the defensive versatility of that lineup. I like the fact that Bam didn't have to guard 5s all game again, and overall, I don't mind the roster, but there are some pieces that I think could be gone by midseason if they stink again, i.e. Wiggins, Powell. There's guys like that could bounce around and easily get moved again. Will they be exciting? Maybe a little bit, but overall, it's like, I don't know, man. Unless Nikola Jovic is like that guy, I don't know where the production and the fun and the excitement's going to come from. Tyler Hero, maybe? This is going to be wild. Brazen, I would say. But I think the Sixers are must-see TV if they're healthy. Of course, if they're bad, it's a train wreck, and it's will not watch. But fully healthy, I just don't know how this team's going to work, and I think that makes me really excited for it. Obviously, you have the centerpiece, Joel Embiid, and then you have, what do they call him, the franchise Tyrese Maxey, and they're fun players. Paul George is there. It's like, can Paul George have a redemption season? I don't know. Can Tyrese Maxey play a full year? Can Joel Embiid play a full year? I don't know. And I think that's what makes Philly such an interesting watch for me this year, is the fact that it is like a car wreck. If you're driving down the road and you see a 3-car pileup on the side, obviously you're not hoping that somebody's hurt in there, but at the same time, you can't look away. It's a train wreck. You're not going to stop looking, even though you're like, oh my God, this is awful. Plus, they got my boy VJ, and he's been putting on a show in Abu Dhabi. Are they playing in Abu Dhabi or are they playing in Australia? I can't remember. But either way, he's been having some highlight reel plays. I'll be tapped in. I will be tapped in for sure. Milwaukee, I'm just going to put in a fine team. They have a shiny new toy that I can really champion and praise. But overall, the team is still Giannis, you know. I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy watching Kevin Porter Jr. hoops, especially leading the unit. He's their point guard. Like, that's their starting point guard. Their backcourt is not ideal. Not ideal. The front court, you swap out Brook Lopez for Miles Turner. That's a little bit more athleticism and speed. But in terms of caliber player, it's like a couple steps up, but nothing crazy. They essentially do the same thing on the court. It's a really interesting swap. I don't think they got better as a team. They probably got a little bit worse, as a matter of fact. That's why I think they're just a fine team. But Giannis makes them so watchable because it's Giannis. It's Giannis, guys. Like, again, I'm a Celtics fan. I have no biases or anything like that, especially this year. My team sucks ass. The Bucks are just fun because Giannis is a glitch. You know, similarly to the Spurs, their logo is mini as hell here. I apologize to Spurs fans for the logo I'm using for them, but yeah, speaking about the Bucks, I think they're going to be fun, just like enough because it's Giannis. He's going to have some big 50-point games in here. I'm going to be honest, unless something drastic happens or Ace is just on fire, I don't see or envision myself watching many Jazz games this year. There's some people on the roster that I really do like. I am a big Bryce Sensabaugh guy. I'm a big Taylor Hendricks guy, even though his leg absolutely looked disgusting last year. He's back. He should be back for the regular season, which is exciting to hear. I'm a big Taylor Hendricks guy. I'm a big Bryce Sensabaugh guy. I love Ace Bailey. I think he's got talent enough to change the direction and the outlook on this team. And if this team becomes watchable or becomes more fun again, it's going to be because Ace Bailey took a step up. I like Lauri Markkanen a little bit, but last year was such a step back from his previous All-Star campaigns that I'm just like, he's there. He's cool. He's like 19 a game. Nice. Walker Kessler's there. I don't care. I don't know. It's in their backcourt still pretty bad. Keontae. I don't mind Keontae George. I'm thinking, yeah, Keontae George. But I don't know. Doesn't excite me as a starting point guard. Can I be honest? This is must-see TV. This team, the Clippers, are going to be fun. They're just going to be fun. And I know everyone talks about them being the geriatric center. You know, this is the what do they call it? The home before you go away. Go away. You know what I mean? Not the halfway home, but in hospice is what I'm saying. This team is built on a lot of in hospice type of players on the back end. Chris Paul. James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Bradley Beal. It's built on some older guys. However, there's so many facets, and this team is so deep that it still intrigues me. Bradley Beal goes down in the first week. Okay, we'll put Chris Dunn back in the starting lineup. He was there last year and did fine. Zubats gets hurt. Okay, we got Brook Lopez and John Collins who can back up the 5 spot. There's so much depth on this team that it really intrigues me. Plus, on top of that, I love Zubats. He's my favorite player on the team, not even close. I love Ivica Zubats. And there's just a lot of players that I like on this team. James Harden. This feels like the last chance for a lot of these guys to get a ring in their careers. And I'm kind of pulling for this team a little bit. I think the Clippers are a very fun team. If they stay healthy, this is a top 3 team in the West because of how deep and talented they are at every position group. You think about the guards, James Harden, Chris Paul, Chris Dunn, the wings. You move over, they still got DJJ, Kawhi, John Collins is your backup 4-man. Like, they have talent at a lot of positions, and I think this is going to be a fun team. The Brooklyn Nets, I won't watch. Simply put, I would need to buy the antenna as I'm a New York native, so I don't have fucking Yes Network on my my YouTube TV. Doesn't come with a Yes Network, or Gotham Sports if you're from New York. Get the hell out of here with that. I think they can be a fun team at best. Jordi Fernandez is a good coach. I got a lot of belief in him, but not with this roster. It'd be fun. I think it's going to be fun to shake up and see who really emerges to the top. Who is going to be the guy on this team? It's probably still Cam Thomas. He's going to average like 24. MPJ is probably going to get his 20. But is there going to be a young guy that steps up, quote unquote, on this team? Is it going to be Yegor? Is it going to be, Nolan? You know, is it going to be Danny Wolf? I don't know. I don't know. There's so many interesting players on this team. It's not going to be a great team, but I'm curious to see which one of the young guys takes a step up. I'm hoping one of them does. Noah Clowney, is it you? I don't know. The Warriors are going in. They don't have a shiny. I guess they do. Jimmy Butler for a full season. But they also added some depth. You bring in Al Horford. You got DeAnthony Melton back. You bring back Jonathan Kuminga somehow. That was not what I thought was going to happen. Now their starting five is like Curry, Podziemski, Moody, Butler, Green, Al Horford off the bench, D. Melt off the bench, like Buddy Hield off the bench. This team, Quentin Post off the bench. They have so many looks that they can give you, and this is their last chance. It feels like, you know, it's like when somebody's kicking when they're drowning, and it's just like, well, you got one chance to get to the side of the pool. And I don't know why I'm comparing the Golden State Warriors to a drowning case, but it does feel like this team's kind of on the downslope. But you bring in Jimmy Butler, and their defense skyrockets to one of the best last season. And then the internal development, you're hoping of a Podziemski or a Post. And then there's role players along the way, too. I really like DeAnthony Melton. He looked sharp in the Golden State Warriors system before his injury last season. So overall, it's going to be a really good team. The Houston Rockets I could put them in shiny new toy, and I think I will. If they had Freddie, they'd be going up top. I think that actually almost makes them more interesting to me, is the fact that they don't have, you know what? Yeah. I'm moving them up because they don't have Fred VanVleet, which may sound a little bit like weird to some people. But for me, it's like, who's the starting point guard going to be? I've never been a Reed Shepherd guy. Listen, I'm a Kentucky basketball fan. I was not a Reed Shepherd guy then, and I'm certainly not now after he did a full season of almost nothing last year. A couple of big games here and there down the stretch. I think like one great game against the Lakers or some shit. But overall, there's a lot of questions about who's going to be the starting guard. And if they go with Asar Thompson, you're talking about the biggest team in basketball, and it's not even really close. They have so many lineups they can throw at you where they can go like really, really big and run like Şengün at the 4, Adams at the 5, Jabari at the 3. Like, imagine a lineup. Ime may do this because Ime loves to mess around and tinker. Like if they do like a Men at the 1, fucking KD at the 2, Jabari at the 3, Şengün at the 4, Adams at the 5. It's so massive. I think there's so much lineup versatility here, and on top of that, KD's here. I was talking about Golden State getting their last shot at reaching that peak. It's the same thing for Kevin Durant. He's in the same boat. All things considered, I think I'm more excited for the Rockets this year than I ever was for any season of Kevin Durant in Phoenix. I think that's fair. All right, let's move on to the next one, the Boston Celtics. Background noise. I probably won't care. I'll watch all of the games. I personally will watch all of the games because I'm a fan of the team. Will I put any interest in whether they win or lose? No. Wins and losses this season feel like they don't matter at all, to be honest with you. They can lose 8 straight. Cool, we're just closer to AJ or Cam Boozer, something like that. I think I'm going to watch all the games, like I said, just because I'm a fan. Because I'm going to watch. They could go 0-82, and I'll be there for all 82. But at the same time, if I wasn't a Celtics fan, would I consider watching them? Probably not, unless you're really interested in Jaylen Brown one-man army hoops. With a little bit of Anthony Simons, who occasionally feels like playing defense. When he feels like playing defense, he can. Just ask him. And it's just a weird situation, man. Nehemias Queta starting. I love me some Queta. Not that much. I think the Lakers will be in a fine team. They got some players in the offseason. Some people like Braun raved about Jake LaRavia at a media day. That was fun. Funny, too. But overall, this roster is just kind of fine. I don't think this is the most polished Lakers team, like to where I expect them to be in the finals. I don't. If they make a miracle run, more power to them. But I just don't think this is the best constructed roster. Marcus Smart, he's like 36. DeAndre Ayton at the 5. It's interesting. DeAndre Ayton had a quote the other day where he's like, "This is the best chance of my career." Happily, I'm going to disagree with you, DA. You were literally in the fucking finals at one point. I think that would be the best chance in your career, but we'll move past that. Overall, I just don't think this Lakers team is like as polished as I want it to be, and that's what kind of holds it back. This isn't a truly rounded out roster. It's just kind of like Luka, Braun, island of misfit toys after that. Washington Wizards. This is a background noise team. Honestly, a perfect background noise team because they can put together a Hood Classic here and there. I'd be willing to bet that this team is going to be competitive this year. Competitive. I wonder what their win projection is. Hold on. FanDuel, we are on right now, has it at 20.5. That feels about right. Yeah, that's about in the ballpark. I think I love Alex Sarr. He's going to be shockingly high in the center rankings coming soon. If you're interested in that, tap in. But overall, I think that the Wizards are like just a fine team. But I like that they added the vets, McCollum, Middleton. And on top of that, you still got your young guys you believe in. I believe in them too. I gassed them up a little bit earlier this offseason, and I feel no shame about it. I will watch a Wizards game, even though this team's probably going to be terrible. I think the Cavs are going in the same spot as they were last year because they play such good basketball. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be some major change in the offseason to make me really want to watch your team. The Cavs almost did nothing this offseason. They swapped Isaac Okoro for Lonzo Ball and dropped Ty Jerome. That's it. And I think they brought in like Larry Nance or something like that too. Doesn't really matter. I think that this Cavs team is just, it's the same reiteration, and that's what makes it exciting to me is the fact that it is the same team. They get one more run at this, in my opinion, before the front office really has to do some tough decision-making and maybe realize, hey, maybe this backcourt isn't working, maybe the front court's not working, something's not working here. And I think this is their last run at it before the front office really starts to shake some stuff up. I think it would start with DeAndre Hunter out because DeAndre Hunter is expensive, and I think he's on the last year of his deal. So I think it would start with DeAndre Hunter being shipped out, but after that, you'd have to look carefully at like a Garland or an Allen and see like, hey, are these guys really irreplaceable? I don't know. But as for right now, I think that the fact that they have so much continuity and they played so well last year in regular season, they were fun to watch last year, I think they're going to be fun this year too. The reigning champs always put on a good game. They just do. They wash teams, which is unfortunate because that makes them unwatchable sometimes, is the fact that it's the third quarter and I'm watching Ousmane Dieng minutes. You know, I think I don't want shots at Ousmane for no reason, but like, you know what I mean. When it's the third quarter and they're up by 35, it's like, why am I even here anymore? That's the only downside about Thunder games is the fact that they win by 30 plus so often that it's like, why am I even watching? I know what the result's going to be. It's the exact same roster, so, I mean, I think that makes it the same level of excitement for me. As we move on to the Knicks, again, I literally can't watch unless I get the antenna, but am I more excited for this team? No, not really. I think they added more bench players, obviously, Yabusele, Clarkson, but overall, it's the same team as last year. You know what you're going to get. They put on fun games, though. Actually, should I move them up because of the fact that they put on a lot of Hood Classics last year? They put on a lot of games that were like one score down to the wire types. Knicks fans know a lot about those one score down to the wire games, and that's what makes them entertaining, I guess. Am I that excited about it, though? No, I don't think so. It's just the same roster, and they play a style of basketball. Actually, Mike Brown, though. I'm going to move it up and say that Mike Brown is the shiny new toy because he's more of an offensive mind than Tom Thibodeau was. Tibbs is a fine coach and a fun coach. He can take a bad roster and make them good, but I don't think he could take a good roster and make them elite. And I'm not sure if Mike Brown can either. This isn't me saying they swapped a great coach or a bad coach for a great coach. This is me saying they swapped two coaches that I don't know about. And I think that makes it more exciting because, like you saw what Mike Brown did in Sacramento, he kind of turned them up for a little bit. So maybe he can do the same with the Knicks. If they run that double big, it'll be even more fun too, in my opinion. Here's just some good old basketball coming out of Phoenix, man. I listen. If they're a good team, more power to them. I don't have a lot of confidence in it. Jalen Green, Devin Booker. It's exciting to an extent. If Jalen Green gets off and he starts getting hot, you'll be seeing something different. But as for now, I see Mark Williams starting center. I don't know about that one. I don't mind their defensive wings, though. They have a bunch of good defensive wings. I think of Rolls Royce. I think of Ryan Dunn. And I think of Dylan Brooks, who, hey, they're getting rid of hand fouling. Like, you can't slap hands anymore. You can't high-five shooters, which I think is lame. I think that's lame, but that's the Dylan Brooks rule. They patch-noted Dylan Brooks, so I wonder how that's going to work for him. But overall, I think that this specific team in Phoenix is not the most exciting team that I'm going to be here for. Unless they really pull some, unless they're, really fun, I genuinely don't think I'm going to be tapped into many games. Orlando's going in shiny new toy just because they're healthy, They're finally healthy again. Suggs is going to be there, Paolo's going to be there, and Franz is going to be there for the first time in what feels like ages. And Wendell's going to be there. Wendell Carter misses a shocking amount of games per season. But then they had Desmond Bane. I like Desmond Bane, and he should be their best shooter. If he can't shoot, I don't know what they're teaching in Orlando if suddenly Desmond Bane goes there and he can't shoot anymore. I think that's what makes them fun. And then, internal development. Where's Paolo going to get better? You see guys like Anthony Edwards take these strides in the offseason. What's Paolo's going to look like? More threes? Probably not, which is going to irritate me a little bit, but I don't know. What's Franz going to get better at? Hopefully, again, this whole team needs to get better at shooting because Franz, with that hitch in his jumper, nobody's ever going to respect that shot. But overall, I think that the Magic are going to be a very fun team to watch. Pelicans ball just depends on if Zion's healthy. They'll go into background noise. If Zion's not healthy, they're going down here. I think you get what I mean. But he's healthy right now today, so they get put up there. I think Zion is he's the leader of the team, obviously. But also, in the same breath, he's the only thing that really gives me anything to root for with this team. I just don't care about the rest of the roster. Jordan Poole, DeJounte Murray should be back around, January maybe? Herb's back. Trey might get traded. Trade Murphy Jr. or trade Murphy the third, my fault. I don't know what's going on. Joe Dumars is something else. I'm a fan of Yves Missi, though. Do you like Yves? Because I do. Denver, must-see TV. It's Yoke. That's one reason to watch, but multiple others, including their off-season additions. They've not ruled out running Valanciunas, Jokic together on the court, which at the same time, at the same time, they might run Jokic at the 4, Val at the 5. The defense is going to be, the opposing team is going to be laughing as they run to the basket, but overall, it's just they've got a more fun team than last year. Last year, it just felt like they were running it back one last time to see if they could get some luck in there again, and they just didn't. This year, it feels like they actually put their head down and made this roster what it needs to be. Indiana, I'm going to keep them pretty high, and I know some people might not like that, but I think there's so much that interests me on this roster. Their starting 5, Nembhard, Mathurin, Neesmith, Siakam, and Isaiah Jackson, Jay Huff, one of them. They have no center play, which is hilarious. But there's still a lot of fun teams. I think this team could still be shockingly decent. Shockingly decent is the way I'd work them. They could win 40. They could win a flat 40 games for them wouldn't be that crazy. Their role players are just really good, and Benedict Mathurin might take a step up. I don't know. I find them more interesting than a lot of other potentially bad teams. Again, Spurs fans, I'm sorry that your logo is miniature, but it's going up top. I think Wemby training with the all-time greats, Matt Bonner, that's proof right there that this kid's going to be one with the greats. He worked out with Matt Bonner, man. I think that the Spurs are going to be must-see TV just because Victor Wembanyama has always been and probably will always be, as long as he's healthy, he will be must-see TV. I watched him yesterday in preseason. The way he moves is unreal, man. I saw him take the ball up the court, behind the back, through the legs. He's 7'4". What is that? What is that? I don't know. I also watched a video of him working out with Hakeem Olajuwon. It was like a 2-3 minute video of him doing workouts with Hakeem. Hakeem's sitting there laughing like Dr. Evil watching this guy do his post moves. Absolutely nuts. I'm excited for Victor Wembanyama, basically, is what I'm saying here. Dallas is going in shiny new toy, man. Coop Flag has me interested. He does. He moves so well. Again, another guy where it's like, you're almost 7 foot and you move like that. It's beautiful to watch. He just reminds me of Jason Tatum a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that, I like to see what his development is throughout the season, but also there's a couple other smaller things throughout the season that'll intrigue me. When does Kyrie Irving come back? I don't know if he's ready for regular season. Dallas fans, talk to me down below. AD, goggles for the rest of his career. Hey, man, I think that's pretty sick. AD with goggles on, that shit's going to be fire. He should just wear a mask. I keep saying this. I've said this in the last time I talked about it. Just wear one of the clear masks like Rip did. I don't know. I'm just really excited in this Dallas team. They have it's stuff that interests me. Coop Flag specifically is a big one, but after that, like AD fitting back at the power forward with other bigs again, like it's going to be fun. I think this team could be fun. Charlotte is background noise as well. That's if LaMelo's healthy, they're background noise at best. I think this is a bad team no matter what way you slice the pie. But there are some players I really like. Con Kneppel, I think he's fun. He reminds me of, like, I don't know, Dan Marley. I don't know. I've been comparing him to white guys for so long that it feels wrong to compare a white guy to just a white guy, but I don't know, man. He's got a very he plays the game the right way type feel about him. I'm a fan of Con Kneppel. Moussa Diabate is the guy that I'm watching for this year. Didn't get much of an opportunity to play with LaMelo Ball last season because Mark Williams and Nick Richards were still there when LaMelo was healthy. And then LaMelo goes down, they get rid of Mark Williams and Nick Richards, and suddenly Moussa Diabate is the starting center. I'm a fan of Moussa Diabate, and I think he's so switchable on the perimeter. He's a little bit raw still, but you work him with LaMelo Ball, you might have something. Sacramento, they're lucky that they're the late game because that's the only reason I turn their games on, because they're the late game and I'm usually like working or something like that. So I'll turn their game on, but like, if I wasn't a basketball fan and like the Kings were a free to watch game, I think I'd just rather go watch like Moana or some shit. I don't know if I'm going to watch this team free will a ton, but I think it interests me enough to where I'll watch a little bit at least. Portland. Fine. Defense. If I like a good defense, and they have the blueprint for a potentially elite one this year. They get rid of Mr. Whether I feel like it or not, Anthony Simons, and they just get better defensively. They do. I mean, and then they add Yang Hansen. Good guy. I love the question they asked him about what'd you notice, and he's like, everyone here is athletic except for me. I think Portland has the blueprint to build an elite defensive team. It just depends on what Chauncey is a big determining factor. Jesus, I almost stumbled through that one. Chauncey's a big determining factor here because he is maddening as a coach sometimes, but he runs some interesting lineups to just experiment, and I respect it. Plus, is there another Shaedon Sharpe jump in there? There has to be if they want to win. Atlanta's going in shiny new toy because half their roster is like overturned from last year. You know, like Jalen Johnson's back, which isn't roster overturned, but he played not a lot of games last year. So Jalen Johnson's back. Kristaps Porzingis, you're here. Luke Kennard, you're here. Nikhil, you're here. You guys have heard all about their offseason moves by now, I'm sure. And that's what makes them exciting to me. Do I think they're going to be an elite team finals contender? No. I actually had a Hawks fan mad in my comments not too long ago that I underrated the Hawks. Sorry, I'm not very pessimistic, but I'm a little bit more pessimistic about a team that has underwhelmed for the last 5 years. It feels like it's been like 4 since the conference finals year. That was like 2021 or whatever. 2019, 2020, it's somewhere in the ballpark, right? They've disappointed every year since then. And Trae Young has done nothing but create more doubt that he can be the one option on a winning team, right? Sorry, I doubt that a little bit. Sorry, I have my reservations. Jesus Christ, I can't speak today. I have my reservations about this team where I'm like, I don't know. Memphis is a fine team just because Ja Morant. He is peak entertainment. And then Jaren just gets better every year, but he's going to miss time. I believe he's going to miss time, right? And then I think Edey is hurt as well. Like this is, it's a mess for them already, and the season hasn't even started. You just got to hope Ja stays healthy. If Ja stays healthy, it's a fun team to watch regardless of what their record is because Ja is just an electric player. Minnesota, while they didn't get anything new, or they're not like a new team or anything like that, they still interest the hell out of me. You know, Anthony Edwards gets better every year, and I feel like he hit a limit on how good he was going to be last year. I'd love to see him blow the lid off of it and be like a 30-a-game scorer, or maybe he becomes like a 26.6 assist type of guy. You know, maybe he ups the assist numbers this year because they're going to need it. I love Bite Mike Conley. Rob Dillingham may or may not be ready, so you're going to need an assist, man. Hey, man, Anthony Edwards, maybe that's your role this year is to become more of an assist guy. I would like to see it. They move into year 2 of the Julius Randle experiment, which worked out pretty well. I mean, you made the conference finals last year, but then you get packed out bad in the conference finals, so I don't know. I shouldn't have done that with my hands. I regret that severely. But still got Nas. You lose Nikhil, but you have Jalen Clark. You have guys that can fill in. And so there's excitement there. There's reason to be excited. They just need to break the seal and get past the conference finals, man. It's cool to get to the conference finals. Believe me, I'm a Celtics fan. I know all about getting to the conference finals and not winning a goddamn thing after that. They only did it once. But they've been to the conference finals like every year since like 2020, and they only won one finals. It's disappointing as hell. It's disheartening, you know? The Timberwolves fans, I'm sure, want to see this team get over that hump now. I'm just not sure if it's a better team than last year, and that's what's kind of rough about it. But Anthony Edwards is a fun watch in general. But like Julius Randle got better last year, it should be fun. Plus, Naz Reid's there. Naz Reid is basketball. And then there was one, Detroit. I have a weird relationship with this team because I love Cade Cunningham, and I think that's what makes them a fine team to watch. But overall, I don't think I'm too excited to watch them. I don't think they got better. And that's my critique of them this year, is that they didn't get better from last year. They just didn't. Objectively, I look at this roster on paper, and I go, yeah, you get Jaden Ivey back. That's terrific. Who's your third leading scorer? Is it going to be Toby? Is it going to be Ron Holland? Is Ron Holland suddenly ready? Is Asar Thompson suddenly going to be a jump in scoring? I don't know. I think that's what it makes me intrigued. Their offseason signings didn't necessarily, rile me up or get me going. Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson. Ooh. Again, Asar Thompson can be something. I really have belief in him. He has the same athleticism as his brother, for Christ's sake. Maybe he gets to use it a little bit more. And Cade Cunningham is just such a good player, man. Cade is special. If they can somehow pull off a Devin Booker deal that's been rumored for a while, I don't know if I'd like it that much because they'd be gutting all their young talent. I don't know. They're in such a weird spot where it's like, do you spend now or do you wait and see what you have? Because Jaden Ivey, Ron Holland, and Asar Thompson can become better, but I don't know how long that's going to take. If you enjoyed this video, or if you disagreed, or if you agreed, or you just like the video regardless of what you do, but then talk to me down in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to catch game. See you guys in the next one. Tune in for center rankings next week.